Hey, we're here on a Friday. Thanks, Ben, for bringing us in and coming in today. I know it was hard for you. Where's your hat today?
I even forgot that.
I love Ben. Ben, thanks. It's Friday, August 20th. I'm with Dr. James Choo, and he has a special guest for us. This guy is good-looking, tan,
thank you,
white teeth, pretty blue eyes. If I was, maybe, but I'm not. Introduce your man,
Hang
Jim.
on a minute. Where am I?
This is Coach Frank Eppolito. He's a boxing coach here in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's been in the game for a long time. Lifelong boxer, and has had tremendous personal success and a lot of success with his amateurs. It's kind of a hidden gem here in Knoxville. I mean, from our circle, but I'm sure from Frank would be like, "Hey, man, I'm a big deal in Knoxville. You just didn't know about me." But I'm super excited. I got to know Frank because just randomly, my wife said, "Why don't we try some boxing?" And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." And then I was the only one that was boxing. She sat and watched me, so it just kind of started from there. But amazing conversations that Frank and I have had over a very short amount of time. I felt like I've gotten to know him. So much good energy and a lot of fire. But that's my small intro. Let's get to know him.
Well, and I would say you were adamant of me meeting Frank.
Absolutely, yeah.
And for some common denominators along the way. And tell us about that.
Well, Frank, I mean, where are you from originally?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Not New Jersey. Jersey.
And you're an Italian Jersey man.
Yeah, my father's Siciliano.
Yeah. And then you've been a lifetime boxer. When did you first start?
Eight. My family was big into that.
And Chaz, that was part of the culture up in Jersey, right?
Well, yeah, growing up, it was actually when I went to visit Frank's place to go watch you and bring a client with me. It reminded me a lot of Jersey, of even the townships up there and how the warehouses were. Even the gyms that I worked out in weightlifting were like that too. Walk in the back door is the front entrance, that type of jazz. So it was nice, and you could go down the street and get a bagel, coffee, whatever. It was really cool. So I liked the vibe, bringing the Jersey vibe to here. But I've heard about Frank from a lot of clients in here that go do boxing, and I was like, "Oh, go do it." And anybody that thought, "Hey, should I do something?" I'm like, "Yeah, knock it out." You know, I'm not a boxing trainer. I love it. I'm a huge fan of the sport. And then visiting your facility was like home.
Let's back it up. Actually, the first time we kind of didn't even know Frank at all. We went to his match. Those matches in off of Broadway, not Broadway, but
Emerald.
Emerald, yeah.
Emerald Youth.
You and I went to one of the regional tournaments over there and watched.
Was it the JOs, Junior Olympics?
I think so. It was kids from Alabama all over.
Yeah, probably JOs.
Yeah.
Did I have a ring announcer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
Walter. Yeah. JO. That was the first time actually the JOs were ever done in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I was able to talk with our president of our Southeastern boxing, and I was able to get the JOs here. So I wanted these guys, and plus Emerald has a great program and everything. So I wanted to bring that on to Knoxville. So we were able to. So and everybody did a great job in this area.
That was an amazing event, was it not, Chaz?
On a Saturday night, I could be doing a lot of things, but that was super fun.
Yeah.
And just watching the boxing, I think it was 3 rounds, Frank?
Yeah, it's 3 amateurs. Well, amateurs 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds or 2-minute rounds, depending on the age of the kid.
And it was amazing. And what I took away from watching that is how humble everybody was that lost or won.
And
absolutely.
It's such a beautiful thing that is actually lost nowadays.
I love the respect that the kids had opening up the rings, the ropes for each other,
hugging
and then
it out
afterwards, hugging each other, and then going over to the coaches afterwards and the opponent's coaches and showing respect.
Yes,
I love that.
And before was kind of cool. They were all geared up and they were with their squad, their team or whatever. It was congratulations. That was a great event. I hope we get to see more.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all going to be on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the boxing guru, right? I don't know anybody else that has a place like Frank's and does what he does. I mean, I'd say he's the, are you on the east side? Would you say north,
That's
south?
northeast.
Where you are?
Yeah, northeast.
I would say
Knoxville.
his place is the northeast wood gym because, all the stuff he has on the walls.
The
and
feel.
how it looks and
The
no
feel.
nonsense. And
When you walked into this place, did it feel very similar?
Yeah, same vibe.
Yeah.
Same vibe.
Yeah.
It was nice to have something like that. I just wish we'd get some. I'd love to do that on Saturday nights and go to those boxing matches like that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I don't know much about you, Choo. He probably knows more, but tell me, how long have you been coaching?
I started coaching when I was 51. I competed, in boxing, so I didn't really do a whole lot of coaching. Never was big into that. I was more into me, trying to achieve my goals and my stuff. And my last bout, I decided, well, I've achieved a lot, and I was real happy with it. So I wanted to share some of my accomplishments, some of my knowledge that I achieved throughout my life. And I figured the best way to do that is through boxing, because boxing is what I'm passionate about. Boxing is it's a solo sport, and I don't take away nothing from no other sport. It's just it. But baby, it's just you, and that means so much to an individual when you could achieve it on your own. I don't need a kicker to win it for me. I don't need to, sub. I don't need anybody. I win, I lose, but I do it. And to get that type of mindset to these young athletes, it's get into their inner, their self-talk, and I go away. He goes away. You go away. But that self-talk stays with them athletes, stays with that child, stays with that young adult for the rest of their life. So, and that's what, as a coach, I was able to, or I'm able to share, and build. And actually, I'm coaching their self-talk. I'm not coaching, baby, this isn't who we are, our soul, or soul. I'm the greatest. All they say, I'm the greatest. He never said nothing negative after it. When you said Ollie, he never said nothing negative. His self-talk was incredible. Never said he was stupid. Never said he was ugly. Never said he was fat. He said, I'm the greatest. I'm the prettiest man alive. I'm this, I'm that, That's his.
It meant it.
Yes.
And
He was the man. He meant it. And the reason why I speak of him is that's what I seen as a kid. That's what I listened to. Howard Cosell and Ollie, my God, come on, man. You couldn't get a better interview in your life.
Yeah.
You don't have it no more, and I thought to myself, God, no matter what happens in my life, I still got me,
Yeah, but Frank, you say you were an athlete for a good span of time. Tell us about your accomplishment, though. You were world champ, right?
Yeah, my last bout. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Kansas City, Missouri, and fight in the Worlds. They call it the Worlds in boxing, in amateurs. And I made it through. They made it through the semis, and fortunate enough to get the W. And it was a great moment for me. It was a great way to end, because I knew. I really, I knew.
How old were you when you retired?
51.
When you retired from swinging, punching people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
he talks about my teeth. See, I got my teeth fixed. My teeth was fixed.
I don't have white teeth.
Now I gotta say, hey, you ain't coach for the spar. I said, wait a minute, bro. I got a lot of money in this teeth. We ain't sparring today. You know what I mean? So having a coach is a lot better for the my dentists don't like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just went and got my teeth cleaned a couple days ago, and they don't look like Frank's.
Yeah. But you also pass on the legacy of winning to your daughter, correct?
Yes. My daughter started at 8, 7 actually, and she got to number 3 in the nation. And she's a very, very competitor. And I measure my success. We spoke on it. I measure my success based on my children, because that's my direct reflection. You know who I can't talk about. I get emotional, so I can't. But when I speak of my children, I have so much love for them there. But they're my reflection.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and what I do don't matter. What I've shared and what I was able to teach my children.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, she's a huge competitor.
Yeah.
Huge competitor.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, you're talking about a guy's lifelong, you know, love for this game of boxing. And you know, I could see whenever I work with Frank, you know, and let's be honest here, he's holding mitts and showing me, you know, 1, 2, 3, and I'm trying to do the boxing math in my head and then fumbling around, but he's, you know, you can tell, Chaz, when he's in there that this is a true love, and it's a vehicle for Frank to install software into the minds of his clients, and I'm sure in particular his youth, because you could just hear as he's working and training, you know, telling you about the conditioning of the mind and grit and determination and keeping it going and you know, that type of thing, which is a lost message in a lot of ways. So it's a great old school way of instilling certain old fashioned tried and true values, not just physically, but I mean, just mentally. And when you bring you to exhaustion, that's when he starts really kind of verbally telling you, hey, you know, push through this, that. The mind is, you know, incredible thing. You know, the body's incredible. The body goes where the mind goes, and the mind, you know, doesn't. You know, there's a lot of stuff that he is saying constantly, and it's a wonderful vehicle in order for you to get to a further place, you know, along the road. You know,
how many days a week do you do the boxing?
I only do it once.
You go once?
Just once a week. Yeah, but you know, I've been around the training game for a long time. You know, with you, Charlie. Really, I mean, you know.
You do jiu-jitsu.
I do jiu-jitsu.
You do boxing.
You do
the wood gym.
A little bit of wood gym.
Ben, when does he practice his occupation?
Never.
Doctor.
Yeah. But it's yeah. Well, I never seen my wife. No, I see her all the time. But she, you know, I think that's a great set of lost values. Do you see what I'm saying? For the generations that are coming up, I think it's a wonderful asset for this community. You know what I mean?
I got a great question for Frank. You tell me if this is right or wrong. Is boxing making a comeback? I seem to see it more on ESPN now on the Friday and Saturday nights, and then the Showtime, and then I think it's the PBC that carries it, Fox. Do you think it's making a comeback?
I think with the internet and some of these young guys that are, you know, that are doing stuff and creating a lot of interest. Yeah, I think it's coming back a little bit, you know. And it's a good thing. And everybody has their purpose, and everybody's, you know, there's a reason for it. You know, I think there's a young man that's fought Floyd and things like that. But that's great for us. It's great for the sport, you know, because people see an interest in it. And once they meet a boxing coach, it's a totally different form of coaching, in my opinion. Once these guys come in and get interested, they, you know, little seeds planted, start watering it, and they meet a boxing coach. And the first thing in boxing, the first part of boxing, and this is what you're talking about earlier, is psychological. Baby, it's psychological, physical, technical. Tactical is the last part of boxing, 4 parts of boxing. Psychological, physical, technical, and tactical. Tactical is the ring smarts. That's the last thing I could teach a kid. But I first got to get to his inner thinking. I got to get to him. Who are you, son? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Coaching isn't advice. Coaching is asking questions. So I'm going to ask you. I want to know who you are. Tell me who you are. What could I do to help you? What could I do to better you? What could I do to make you get up? When you go down, what are you going to do to get up? What are you going to think? What's your self-talk telling you, son? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I've got to bring that out. When you're getting your brains beat in, son, are you going to quit? That's life.
Yeah.
And to talk, when you meet a boxing coach or a coach or a football coach or anybody that deals in violence, anybody deals in pain, you're hurt. This is in cooking class. Nothing against Emeril Lagasse. Don't get me wrong. I love him. But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bam. You know what I mean? I love that guy. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, when you meet a boxing coach or somebody deal with jiu-jitsu or somebody, you tap, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to tap, you're going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get to their mind. You got to get to the psychological part of them. Then the physical part. Now, are you strong enough? Are you strong enough to break his guard? You strong enough to punch through him? Are you technical? Is your technique good? You develop leverage? That's why it's a science. Are you developing leverage? You got speed, you got rhythm, you got timing. You have this. I could teach you this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now you got ring smarts. Now where you at in that ring? What's your opponent doing? Is he tall? Is he short? Left-hander? Is he fast? Is he slow? Is he strong? Is he weak? How are you going to defeat him? It's a battle. It's life. Life's a battle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What are the percentages of male to female that you work with?
Oh, it's small.
Do you think who was it? Ali, the female fighter that had more exposure? Yeah.
Layla.
Do you think it will come back to that, or do you think that's just because she was Ali?
Because she was Ali.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let's bring it to a big question there. You talk about Muhammad Ali. You've had some small conversation about Muhammad Ali, right? And I think we have to remember that at one point in time, Muhammad Ali was the most recognized man on earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking about presidents of the United States, some of the most powerful men on earth. The most recognized man on earth at one point in time was Muhammad Ali. For a variety of reasons, right? Because of what he represented, his charisma, everything. But it's also something about the sport, right?
Absolutely.
Why the sport? Why Ali? In your mind, why? What gravitates? Because look, we can talk about MMA, right? And that it's the new kid in town,
right?
And it's a wonderful thing, right? But they're not generating purses like Floyd Mayweather. No. If you look at what Floyd makes in his time in the ring versus, say, LeBron James, per second, dollars per minute, Floyd is probably the richest man in sports for the time he spends actually doing the sport. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why? Why boxing? Why are people gravitated towards that?
To me, it's the sport of kings. It's the sport of kings. It's a science. It's a science. And the biggest thing that people watch when it comes to boxing is when you cross them ropes. If you have never crossed them ropes, it's totally different than walking to a stadium. Totally different hitting the field. Totally different. When you cross them ropes, baby, it's you and him. That's it. Everybody goes there. Everybody goes. Everybody wants to be a beast, right? You ever see that little thing? I got one in my shirt in my gym. Everyone wants to be a beast till it comes to get beast mode.
Yeah.
Let's go beast mode.
Yeah.
Everybody talks. Verbal vomit. But when it comes time down to do it, punch him in the face. You got that? Everybody goes there. And I think that's you're getting people imagine themselves in their fight. And it's such a skill level. It's so much technique. And the biggest thing, the number one thing about it is, and that's why Ali was, in my opinion, I grew up, Ali was born Ali won the gold medal in Rome, Italy in 1960. I was born in 1960. And I think, energy's energy. But to me, the 18-year-old kid, man, from Kentucky.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah. 18-year-old kid wins a gold medal in Rome, in 1960, and was so charismatic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just and that was boxing because he was able to maintain a calm demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan. It's like I can do it. Forget the percentages. You don't have nothing that tells, you can't measure my confidence. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. I'll take full responsibility for this win or this loss. Put it on my shoulders. I got this, coach. I want to fight. Mm-hmm. I know I represent Eppolito Boxing. I want that kid that says, I want to fight, coach. Mm-hmm. Put me in, coach. I don't lose, coach. Mm-hmm. I'll beat him, coach. I had a kid, 8-year-old kid, come back to my 8-year-old kid come back to my corner, getting his brains beat in. If I would have stopped it, the ref would have stopped it. The kid had so much competitiveness. He was so tough. We let him fight. Let him finish the fight. Looking at the ref, just let him finish the fight. Come back to my corner. What I need to do to win, coach? Son, you better knock him out. Son, you're going to have to knock him down. You're going to have to dominate this round. You've lost first and second. I'm going to lie to my kids. Mm-hmm. Son, you lost you're tough enough I could tell them the truth. Say, I got to baby these kids. Mm-hmm. They're tough kids. Mm-hmm. You lost first and second, son. You got to do it. What I got to do, coach? He didn't win, but I just thought to myself, 8 years old, man. What do I got to do to win?
So you think that in a sport like boxing, it really strips you down to the essence of the person? And so when you can really...
It'll expose who you are. It'll expose you.
Yeah, yeah. When it comes down to
absolutely.
It. So there's kind of a naked truth to it all.
Absolutely. Yeah. It will expose you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're getting punched in the face, it will what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Chaz, what do you think? You're a boxing fan. You love boxing. You love everything.
I love it. I love his energy. I love listening to him.
Am I too loud? Am I too sure?
Perfect.
But you know what I'm saying. Like, why do you love it as much? For the same reasons?
Well, it's a twofold question. Is we talk about boxing and UFC. I'm not a UFC guy. I just think it's too barbaric. Where he talks about skill level with boxing is so much more than just ground and pound, as they say. Yeah. I mean, that's just, I don't mind standing on that side and say I'm a boxing guy. Everybody, you're going to get the fights on Saturday for UFC. I usually don't, but boxing I always do. So that's different. Vince Lombardi said this: sports reveal your character, don't build character. Do you believe that?
Absolutely.
So when somebody steps in the ring, do you make them tough or
no?
They are tough.
They're tough.
You can't make tough.
No, absolutely not. God gives you an energy. Mm-hmm. God gives you a spirit. I'm not a carpenter. This guy, whoever did the finished work here is incredible. That was his spirit. Mm-hmm. That's his gift from God.
Thank you.
Did you do this?
No.
Oh. but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm so fortunate. Like been in sales for a long time, and I have to take in sales. We take the 80% and move them up. Mm. Right? Mm-hmm. That's you take the 80%, move them up, your numbers go up. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
You throw enough crap against the wall, something's going to stick, right?
Yeah.
So it's a numbers game in sales. How many people did you talk to? It's all numbers, right?
Yeah,
it's no skill. It's numbers game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's mail outs. Mail them out. You're going to get 1% return. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It don't matter who's doing it. Mm-hmm. It's a numbers game, right? It's only going to be so many cars registered in Knoxville County. It's a numbers game. How many are you going to get?
Yeah.
Not in this. Mm-hmm. Give me them 10%ers. I could take them, not the 90%. Don't get me wrong. I love them. Let's hit the bags. Let's get in shape. Let me teach you how to eat. Let me teach you the difference between nutrients and energy. Let me teach you the difference. Let me teach you this. Let me teach you how to work your body. Let me teach you how to think properly. Positive thinking. I can do all that. That's wonderful. But give me them 10%ers. Give me that kid. That kid sitting on the store. What I need to do to win, coach? He lost that bout. Who cares? That's a world champion sitting there. No matter what he does, that's a world champion. His energy, his gift that he has, his thinking, his determination, motivation, that stuff that's in him. Mm-hmm. I got to bring it out of him. I'm scaffolding. we're going to build it. We're going to put the ironwork. They're going to come in. They're going to build it. We're going to build it. We're going to build it. Then I'm going to go away. That building's going to stand. Empire State Building standing. That building in the Depression. It's still standing. That everybody went away though, but that building's still standing. So that's, to me, is in you. I just need to bring it out of you. And it's okay. And today, our young men, we have a young men crisis right now. Our young men our young men feel no purpose in life. No purpose. We as men have to uplift them. The world is so much better with strong, healthy men. This is what coaches do. We build them. Now, only reason why I talk about men, because I am a man. And that's what I could change. Because I know what they go through.
Oh, it's changing.
Oh. So, I mean,
it's changing. The real men are lost art. So
I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to say, hey, this gentleman right in front of me, Charlie Petrone, has been a mentor to many men, right, and women. But over the years, your 30-year career, 30 plus years, I would imagine, what Frank is saying, that 8-year-old on the stool was God-given grit and determination. Who's born with that? Coming to a guy like Frank, does that resonate with you when you see the athletes that come? What is your take on that when you see?
No, we couldn't. Wang, once again, Ben was completely off on this one. We are two different occupations. And what I mean by that, and I was going to address this with Frank, is he has to. I wanted to ask, and this is probably another twofold question, so process this. And what I mean by that is you're talking about fighting. So he has to know, which of course he does, do I get this person in the ring? Do I not get this person in the ring? Does he go through protocols before they're ready to go in the ring? Like the Cam Miller kid I brought in, great athlete. He's doing jiu-jitsu with you now. And I even told him, get into Frank, get in there.
Yeah. Does that kid come to the gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice kid.
Okay.
You're working with him in jiu-jitsu, but I don't know, because he's like, I've never been in a fight before. I'm like, well, I can't tell you how to get. So he would go through those protocols. What I mean as we're so different, so different, is my job, first of all, is to get people in shape. Okay. So even a high-profile athlete, my biggest concern, not to get them injured, why we try to get them fast in shape. But there's not the consequence that Frank has a responsibility for an 8-year-old to go, son, go back out there. You're getting, he has to know, he has to be so intuitive with that. That's totally different than dropping some weight, dropping some body fat, getting somebody fast so they can make $12 million more. It's a totally different.
But
it's
I guess
different.
But I guess the question though is not so. Yeah, I see what you're saying on that end, but identifying what's in the person, right, that you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like seeing their character and where they need to go with their. I don't know if it's sport or is it just very different?
The one thing you don't do, and Frank will say this, you don't play boxing. It's a fight. It's a mano a mano. It's two people in there. You don't have 10 other people to go, that was on you. We're padded up. We have a face mask on. We're controlled. We could call timeouts. I just think it's so different because a lot rides on him. He has to know when to throw in the towel if that happens. Hey, you're not ready to go in the ring, or you're getting your butt kicked. We got to pull out. He has to know all these things. Yeah. Almost like Rocky 3, where he's holding the towel and going, I don't know. He has, my opinion, more of a life or death occupation. in my opinion. I mean, or you could get really messed up quick if you're not intuitive like Frank. When did you open up Eppolito's? You retired boxing at 51.
Yeah, when I was 51. Yeah, when I come back.
You're 59, 58?
61.
Wow, looks great.
Yeah, 61.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to drink the water you're drinking with the good pizza dough, right? It's the water.
Limoncello. A little.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I don't even drink. I used to, but I don't drink anymore.
61, right? All right. So, but he's had the knowledge for 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay. He's been in business 10 years, right? When's the founding date of established Eppolito's Gym?
I opened up in September of 2011.
10. Oh, it's a perfect
2010? Yeah.
No, 10 years. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, I mean, just listening to him and how the 8-year-old just sparked on me, because I have a 9-year-old female softball player that travels from Georgia on Saturdays to come train with me once a week. We're training. We're jumping. I have to watch her patella tendons and make sure things don't rip off, and have to, no weight training, but medicine ball work. The stuff that I watch Frank take you through, that type of jazz. So we're jumping, we're moving, maybe getting hips stronger. She's a pitcher, so you isolate different muscles. But they're not going to get hurt.
Right. I guess the thing, though, is what I think is very similar is the identification of the psychology of who you're working with. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
it's completely different.
You think it's different?
What? Okay, so if Frank doesn't know me and I come in, I'm like, I box with my dad. He boxed in Marines. We're good. I know a little something. And hey, I just want to get in the ring and spar a little with you, Frank. Okay, he's going to know right off the bat, this guy's not ready to be hit or take a hit. He's not moving. His technique's off. Then you got to pull him out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Compared to do some walking lunges,
right?
I just listening today, and that's why I do love these podcasts, because you learn so much. And Frank, I think we're on our 3rd year doing these podcasts. Awesome. I've had people live with me and train with me for 20 or 30 years, and then you sit across here for an hour, and you're like, I never knew that about you, and I thought I knew boxing. I thought I knew box coaching. I thought I knew these things. Just Frank sitting here talking with that 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay. That scares me, because that's out of my circle.
Yeah.
Like
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's.
But you have to make that right choice, because that go with him for the rest of his life. I can't let that kid quit in the stool. He'll quit on the stool at 8. He'll quit in life. I got to know that. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it affects his life. I go away. But that moment I don't. That moment I'm his world.
Right.
Yeah.
But he could be injured. His life is in his hands.
I see what you're saying.
It's more like when Leonard Fournette flew in to get faster, to get projected higher in the first round. My job was to make him faster. Okay. And watch his body weight. But it's not that kid could get hurt if Frank doesn't know what he's doing.
I see what you're saying. There's
saying?
more on the edge, for sure, at the moment, right?
And listen, with Harrison Smith, I didn't know. I was patient. I got him in 8th grade. I knew he had some good genetics, but I didn't know he banged a tennis ball around for a year. I had to tell him to put the tennis balls away, but I had patience with him. But I didn't go, that's it. I just knew his symmetry, his muscle makeup.
You didn't really know that at the time?
No, I knew he had some genetics.
Yeah,
but I didn't. But I guess, and you know this, Frank. Exposed is a huge word, and you don't get exposed with training, because somebody could go through a workout and you're like, okay, they went through a workout, but I don't know you know how I say, give me an hour, I'll tell you everything. That's just telling how the person is, not the courage, not the fight, not the weakling,
exactly.
not I give up. Exactly. That's when you get in the ring, you're exposed.
Exactly.
He hit it. You're one on. Even in tennis, it's a one-on-one sport. You could still call timeout. Injury, whatever, to take. You're exposed, and you're not exposed in training. It's just training.
I see. Okay.
I mean, that's a huge. Just being here today was perfect, because it's a huge responsibility what he does.
I see.
You know, like if somebody gets injured, life or death.
Yeah.
That's all. You're going here. I understand the parents, the agents are going, here's my child, here's my elite athlete. Okay. Well, here's the protocol. We're going to go through this.
Yeah.
What he has to do, you're going, an 8-year-old, here, Frank, I'm going to trust your character. I'm going to trust everything about you.
Yeah.
You woke up on the right side of the bed today. You're not angry today. You're at peace with yourself. Whatever those things are, that's on him.
Yeah.
That's on. Okay, so the biggest flaw I have, somebody pulls a hamstring in a 40.
Right.
I just hit on it today. I mean, it's even, I think it's, and no disrespect to jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I respect Frank so much, because I think the training's the toughest ever.
Oh, yeah.
I think the sport is the toughest ever. You know, I raced motocross. I would put motocross up there. Super, super hard.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a one-on-one sport. It's by yourself. You know, but again, you're exposed out there. If you're slow and you quit and come off the track,
yeah,
I don't know. But that stuff, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all Frank. I mean, okay, Grayson was boxing 2 or 3 years ago. She loved boxing. Okay, Frank, here's my 18-year-old now, which we could work on. Take her.
That's a lot of
that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I have pressure of making Leonard Fournette fast for 2 weeks. The agent flies in, he hovers over workouts. Millions of dollars are on the line to make this guy more money.
Yeah. That's not the same as the
8-year-old on the stool,
or
the thing that we went to watch on Saturday.
Yeah,
that's so pure. That's so pure. What Frank does.
It's more visceral, I think. I mean, you're venturing further outside the rules, or like further outside of a sport, like football or something. Yeah, you're wearing gloves. There are rules. You can't do certain things, but you're sort of leaving behind all of your socialization of what a human should be doing in our society.
That's great.
Exactly right.
Perfect.
Exactly
Good point,
right.
Ben. Yeah. What do you think of that? I know you get hyped up in your energy, but was I wrong?
No. You're 100. Yeah, you're 100. And that's why our sport isn't so popular. That's why you don't go to a boxing gym and are waiting in line to get in. You know how cool it would be? People say, "Yeah, I'm a boxer." Is that not cool? It's cool, but
and I went to visit you. It was packed. No, it wasn't. That's what it was. That's a pure thing. A guy like Chewy, like, again, I understand what you're saying is you didn't make Chewy driven.
Yeah.
I didn't make Chewy tough. He was. I agree with you. We talk about that with some of my mentors, Louis Simmons and Radomir. God bless his soul. We talked about mental toughness. How are you born? And Louis agrees like you on that. Is you're either born an MF or you're not a born MF. And that's,
do you agree with that?
I do to an extent, but I also the patience is different, and because you could still not. Here's your thing: is Chad Pennington is going to be. He was a hell of a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
but I don't see him getting in the ring in boxing. Okay. So he doesn't have to be a MFer. I mean, I think what Frank does is different. I think I could develop some mental toughness for a kid to make the varsity squad in football or baseball. Like, hey, you need to be this level to do this. Okay. I think he doesn't have that time. I think he has to identify much quicker of, okay, that's Chewy. Okay. Like he could probably look at me and go, man, okay, if Charlie wants to get in the ring, I think he could probably take a punch or so. So I could work with him a little. I can't go hard on him, but okay, he's this, right. Maybe just his makeup from Jersey, in the business 31 years, seen a lot. Right. Okay. He's gonna, he's wrestled in New Jersey, did certain things. Yeah. He could already go, okay.
In the context of boxing, right? He's got that boxing eye, right? Versus what you're saying is that yours is, you're looking at things from multiple different sports, and it's not as, it's millions and millions of dollars. That's a lot of stakes, but it's not health and well-being and, and potential, real injury.
You go through protocols.
Yeah.
They get physicals. They get evals. I would say monitoring Jimmy Haslam's workouts is just as high up there as working with Leonard to make millions, because he's an older gentleman. He goes through some intense workouts. I got to make sure he doesn't blow a knee out when he wants to jump and run this and do.
Yeah.
That's about it. But he just hit on me with the 8-year-old.
That was a stark difference. That was
I'm not in that game. My stuff is more intellectual property of writing a workout and going, follow this template and you'll reach your goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank has a very, very rare set of skills of having intuition when an 8-year-old is getting beat. And of course, when the kid goes, and I don't want to rehash this story, it just hit on me, what do I got to do to win? Well, before that, with me, who I am, I would have pulled the kid out because I'm not in that arena. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
Not your world.
He has seen this all over. So when he tells me this, for somebody like me, I'm like, oh my God. Or, it took me back, 8-year-old, and he's getting beat. Me? Let's get the hell out of here and regroup and go, Chuck E. Cheese and get some pizza or whatever. But Frank's in the business and seeing something that I couldn't even see and go, we're going to stick it out. That call that he makes of, okay, son, we're going to the last round. In my opinion, Frank, and I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but that takes some big balls.
Yeah.
Frank?
I got help. Okay. I got a trained referee in the ring. He knows I know my boxer better than anybody in that arena or in that gym or wherever. And I got a doctor at ringside. So I got doctors that they don't get paid. These people, everybody in USA Boxing with white shirts don't get paid. They're volunteers. So that referee's thinking, okay, I'm going to let that coach make that call, or that referee has to say, that coach don't know what the hell he's doing. Stop this bout. And he stops the bout. Or he said, okay, because this affects rest of this kid's life. His parents are out there, granny's out there, his nona's out there. It affects his kid's rest of his life. Do we stop it too early? No, we'd rather stop 1,000 too early than one too late. Don't get me wrong. Not taking away from the safety part of it. But I got a referee that helps. I've got a doctor that could stop it. Okay, so it could take. But the thing is knowing your athlete. It's psychological. I got to know my athlete.
Yeah.
I got to know who I can push, who I can't push. And it's not because go another rep. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about take another blow, son. You got this. Get out there and fight.
Yeah.
I got to reach deep. Maybe it's easy to be a beast, right? No, it isn't. It isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody do it.
Yeah.
It's easy to quit. That's why so many quit. This world is full of quitters. This world is full of people who gave up.
Yeah.
Full of them. We're the 10%. We're the 1%ers. We don't quit. If you got to listen to Tyson, love him to death. Love him to death. He's raw. You want the truth? Talk Tyson. He'll tell you. You may not like it, but he'll fire on you. He'll tell you the truth. When Tyson said, you can't compare me to Ali, you know why? Because Ali would have died in that ring. Tyson said, I wouldn't. And that's the difference maker. I knew, anybody understands boxing knew Tyson would die in that ring.
Yeah.
Ali would die in that ring. Yeah. He would die for boxing. Not many people would. They knew it. That cop knew it when he trained him. They call it a PAL, Police Athletic League. They knew it. They knew what they had in that kid. That's why that kid got to where he got to. God bless his soul.
Yeah.
I love his passion.
Yeah.
It's a good passion. I hope more people open up to boxing, and I think it's a great tool for every athlete, and I'm sure Frank would agree with me. Just the boxing part of it, the training, not getting
Tell me
in there
about that, Chaz, because you've always been interested in sending your athletes to boxing. So what do you think it affords them? Because you've had Harrison, Lee Smith, some other, and probably others that you've sent in when Ace Miller?
Yeah,
Ace Miller when he was around. That you kind of
Smith
have,
and Harrison and Reese Staley, who's an Army Ranger now. They all had the same makeup, so it's the same thing as when I take my guys mountain biking. I think this is where Frank and I are the same. Is I have to understand that they understand what they're about to do, and I think they're equipped to do it because going in the woods, mountain biking. Injuries are there, deaths are there. It's a
consequences.
It's again a one-on-one sport consequence. I'm not in control. Once you're on the bike, I'm out. I'm following you around, and you could get hurt.
Yeah.
So I think I identified that. I would say that's the correlation that Frank and I would have is, hey, you could do this, or a snatch, or something in here like you think I could do this way. I got it. You could do this way. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So what do you think boxing affords your athletes?
Well, first of all, I think it's great cross training. So that's how I moved into mountain biking and road biking for the athletes. I think it's great cross training. I think the shape is totally different than what you do in here. So you're letting your body be adapted or unadapted to a new stimuli, which is awesome. It's all the things he said: hand-eye coordination, courage, timing. You could watch the great like Harrison. Once he started in the ring, you're like, okay, that's why he's a gifted athlete, a Pro Bowler. He moves well. They're smart. So if Frank gave coaching cues, they could pick him right up. Those types. I just think it's another tool in the toolbox for. I think everybody should do it. The thing that I would do with Frank, hopefully we could get a pipeline going. Is okay, Frank. I'm going to send you this guy, but I don't think they need this. They probably need this from your magic tricks or whatever you could pull out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I'm already thinking of a kid that I picked back up, and he's a sophomore. He could be a hell of a baseball player, but the parents are like, he just, he's a little lazy, has to get after it. He's a big kid. He's a shell in himself. I don't even know that he knows he could be a beast, as we say. Well, he'd be perfect for Frank because I'm just training, chopping it up with him, doing our things, but it's not something. Here's the difference. You can't control the pain in the ring. Here, I can.
Okay.
I can
dial it up, dial it down.
Let's not do 12 reps, 8 reps. You don't have that. So I think, actually, this kid would be great for Frank. He's a good kid. I think he'd love him. It's just a matter of bringing something out of him, or, hey, he doesn't have it, let him just hit a baseball. But his parents brought him back, said, we need to get the spark. And I'm usually, as a sophomore in high school, Frank, I hope you agree with me, you've got that spark or you don't. And I think that's what you would have to do. But I still think there's a chance that he can. So the boxing thing for me is huge. I mean, I wish he was right next door, or I was right next door, and I just followed him because that's how much I believe in the sport and a guy like Frank.
Yeah.
I think it's totally different than me because his energy is totally different than mine. I have to be more cerebral. So I have to think, okay, it's totally different than where I just look at his stuff as like life or death in a lot of ways. I mean, you either punched or get punched.
It's like a survival, like a minute. Like,
how would numbers be useful, In the same way that you are using numbers of like someone's body weight or someone's like, how fast they can run or something.
Yeah.
You could time them running around the ring.
Yeah. Talk about... I think what Frank does is develops a different character than when people come through my wood gym. So when they, like Pennington said, they leave as boys and go back out as men, that's just more life wisdom. Okay. Now, I'm not saying Frank doesn't give that, but when you're in his arena, in the boxing, in the ropes, man, that opens up all the wisdom you ever want. I can't duplicate that here. Unlike, Proverbs 3:5 is good for you today, and those type of things, or I lay down my soul of what my struggles are today.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank is Frank.
Yeah.
Like Frank can't turn off when he's in there, and I don't want to speak on your behalf. They're coming to him because he's a real MFer. He's from New Jersey. He's boxed. That's where I want to go. Like if I want to go, you know what? I'm going to turn 55 in 2 years. I want to go to Frank and see how tough I am. You know, like, I want to see where I am.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank. And he would go, okay, let's go. This is the guy you go, in my opinion, to see how tough you are. Would you say? Bet you're the outsider. Would you? Am I on to something here, or am I way off?
I think it's a more raw test for sure.
Absolutely.
100. So when I think I'm raw, this guy's raw.
Your stopwatch when someone's over running the turf, you may yell at them, but it's not gonna like.
Chaz is never yelling at him. But I mean, neither is Frank. Really,
I'm just saying it's Frank knows. I mean, once you get a punch, that's totally. I would say 99.9% of my professional athletes have never taken a punch, but they're bad mofos on the field, on the court, whatever. It's a different person that goes, like he said, once you walk in that ring. I mean, I get nervous just talking about it. You know, I get nervous for myself just talking about it. I get nervous for fights. But again, he's calm, cool, collected, but it would be interesting to see what Cam Miller did in the ring. And he'd probably come back and go, well, this is why he transferred from Carson Newman. This is why he gave 1 year at UT. This is why, you know, I gave him one shot to the ribs and he was like, I'm done. I don't know.
I guess the thing, I think the one thing that I say is why you guys are similar. I know you're very different temperament, singularly focused. You got a wider net of athletes. Is that I think you both can, in different ways, identify the psychology of the human. I think you can. I think you could take to a degree an athlete in both arenas, like independently, right? You bring someone in, Frank works with he or she for a while, and then you work, and we do a test. You guys don't talk to each other at all, and then you guys work for a period of time. You work with he or she a period of time, and you guys would come back and you would have a very similar diagnosis of who this person is.
I agree with
that's what I think is the commonality in the perspectives that you guys would have. You come at it very different ways, but then you would be able to expose in your different ways who that person was. That's what I think the commonality is.
That would you speak? One name comes to mind. For he would recognize it, I recognize it, anybody recognize it, any coach will recognize it, any coach. Jake LaMotta. Jake LaMotta. Call him an animal, call him whatever you want to call him. Jake LaMotta was unbelievable strong mentally. Took a beating from Ray. And I love box movies because they're so. That's why their movies do well, right? They do well. But it brings out the sensational part. I mean, you know, they sensationalize it. But just having somebody laying on the ropes just got his brains beat in, and looking at his opponent, say, "I never went down, Ray. I never went down, Ray."
Yeah.
That's boxing. That's life. Fire me. That's okay. I was looking for a job for you. Hired me. I'll go get another one. It's okay. I'll fail my way to success, but I'm going to get there. You can't. I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
My confidence. The difference. I believe in me. I don't need my mommy. I don't need my daddy to believe in me. I believe in me. I'm going to do it. And that's what I bring out. You, and that's who people fight today. That's why they're on pills today. That's why they're overweight today. They can't beat themselves. You got to beat that. Everybody had that urge. Every great athlete in the world had the urge to quit. They just didn't. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I want to quit. You run across your football. You run across that middle of Ronnie Lott. Get you some. He couldn't play football today. Ronnie Lott would absolutely knock your brains out. He had it. He had it. He'll expose you. That's the difference maker. Can you beat yourself, son? Can you do what you don't think you can do? You're going to get up again. You get knocked down 7 times. You're going to get up 8.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's you. And that's what I want to bring out. You got it. I see it. If you could see you through my eyes, son, you'd be a world champion.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I got one question I'll end, but that was a good point. Is like, I was always taught coach's eyes see what you guys can't see. Because I do the same thing. It's like, you got this weight. And they're like, there's no way. And I'm like, I'm telling you, you got this weight.
Yeah.
That's what Frank is preaching.
Yeah.
All right, I got to...
Preaching! No, man. Come on, man.
With his burly whites. We get it, Frank. You're good looking. We get it. All right, I got a question from the audience.
Oh, there's people listening to this stuff? Oh.
Is there a fight or opponent that taught you the most of you remember the most? Is there a fight or opponent that taught you the most or that you remember the most?
Man, I wish I didn't get that. But my father, that's why it's important, man, to be for your sons. Only a man can raise a man. I don't care how politically or whatever the hell they call it.
Politically incorrect, Frank.
Yes. I don't care how it is. My father, remember this on live. I'll give you something to cry about. Changed my life. Changed my life. It ain't that bad. My father was my biggest mentor. And I don't know how many young men come in my gym today that don't even have one. Mm-hmm. So suck it up, man. You bring them here to this party. They weren't invited. You brought them. Take care of them.
Mm-hmm. I think we end like that. Frank, thank you so much for coming here. Again, the gorgeous eyes, the teeth, the tan. Really? Chewy? I just rolled out of bed. I woke up like this. Frank, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was awesome.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. James Choo.
That was a lot of fun.
One question real quick, Chewy. What do you like better, jiu-jitsu or boxing?
Oh, man, they're very different.
It's a hot seat, Frank. It's a hot seat.
It's very different. I haven't done, I'll be honest with you. I've sparred once with his daughter.
What did you think about that?
That was awesome. I mean,
how did you, when you got in there compared to what I watched you do? You did the boxing training.
Yeah.
Beep, hit the button.
Yeah.
Whatever. Going in with anybody, I agree with Frank 100%. I get nervous when I even think about stepping in through the ropes.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's
very
there.
Different.
You're in the man in the arena.
You feel there's an out to jiu-jitsu, right?
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it still sucks getting your, twisted up and all that. But there's the definite feeling of, oh, shit, man, I'm good. There's a little bit. Yeah, there's
his
a little
daughter's
bit.
like an Olympic athlete.
And his daughter was, Frank was like, hey,
go easy on him.
Yeah, he's giving her cues like, be nice. And it was like basically like a cat playing with a kitten, Have
you ever noticed what Frank talked about the most on this podcast? It wasn't fighting, beating, throwing, punching.
No.
He kept saying skill set, intellectual.
Yeah.
Those are the properties that you have to have compared to a raw guy like me going, okay, I'm going to punch Frank right in the face. And as soon as I start walking towards him, he's like, that's off. I got him this way. There's so much. That's why it is a science that we talk about with boxing.
And the little bit that I did with her, I did just 3-minute round. I don't even know it was 3 minutes.
How was it?
I mean, she was lighting me up. So I would be, throwing something, and then she's like,
wide open. Yeah.
And then I just wanted to hold her and just tell her to hold still.
Yeah.
So I can, don't move. But, yeah.
So
it's amazing.
So you think jiu-jitsu is safer?
Yeah. I definitely think it depends on,
is it a different release?
It's a completely different sport. I mean, it's mono, imano, or whatever. It's very, 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 very different. Very different.
So what's your answer?
I mean, I love jiu-jitsu. I love, but I haven't done as much boxing.
I think that you're more physical, like you're a student of jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. And I think you're a super fan of boxing.
I am.
Because you and I could chop it up in here without Frank and not knowing what we know like he knows. But we could talk boxing for 2 hours.
I think that's
Look at this guy. This guy's coming up. Oh, you missed. Yeah. I'll text him on Saturdays at 8 and go 9 o'clock ESPN has
That's exactly
And you're
right.
usually in bed with the babies, I guess.
That's exactly
But it's like, I got to fight to stay up on these fights. When they're Vegas fights, I got to drink coffee. Everybody's in bed and I'm just... That's when you love the sport. When you're just sitting on the couch by yourself. You're not drinking. You're just watching.
I'm an outsider looking in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm be honest with you. But
well, we're happy to have you in Knoxville.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks for inviting me very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was awesome.
You got an awesome place, and everybody should check out Frank's place. It's awesome. It's you got to lock and load. You go through there a little, but yeah, but it's hey, and that's the lure
way
too.
You want it.
It's kind of heightened.
That's what you want.
Cam Miller was like, "Where are we going?" And I'm like, "Hold on, Cam.
Yeah,
we got to go around back."
Yeah, they want boxing, they'll find it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good. All right, Ben. Thank you so much. Everybody, happy weekend. We'll see you next time.
See you later.